So, good afternoon. My name is Mr. Guzman, and this is for the viewers watching me. So, my lesson for today, or for that I'll be teaching the class, will be physical inactivity and the issues that we have now in today's society, also in current days. My lesson will begin with opening up the class with introducing myself, like I just did right now, and asking the question, what is physical inactivity? And what are some examples that are considered as physical inactivity, and how can we break those bad habits? And how does this specifically affect the human body? Specifically, are the muscles? You know, what is the function of the muscle? How does inactivity affect that overall, as well as just not just the body, but as well as the muscle? I will be opening the class with that topic, and then I would proceed with transitioning over with asking the students, who can tell me what a muscle is? What is the main function? How many muscles do you think the human body has? Then what I would do is students will answer, give feedback, or give the response as I walk around the class, and selecting the students once they raise their hand. And from there, I'll be engaging with them as well, providing information with them to those questions and giving them answers to those questions that I asked, based off the information that they provide me, based off their responses. Then I will introduce the issue of the event through a PowerPoint. So what the PowerPoint will be, for example, is showing specific muscles, or the main muscles of the body, and where are they located in the body. But during this time that the students are doing that, they will be handing out packets that would play once I'm showing the slides. Those packets will include different muscle groups. First, they will open up with the anatomy, the human anatomy, or the shape of a human, and I will ask them, can you please write down as many muscles as you can, or locate as many muscles as you can on the diagram. And from there, we will share with the students. I will share with them and their answers, and they would tell me how many muscle groups or how many muscles they were able to indicate on the diagram. From there, I would talk to them about what makes up the muscles and the function. What is the function from every muscle? When the students will provide me feedback. With that feedback, I'll give them specific facts about it. For example, most importantly, a muscle. What makes up the muscle, and as well as what causes the muscle to break down, and what causes what person to have a cramp. I would talk about the whole process of a muscle recruitment and how the muscles work, how they recruit muscles. And during the class, when that's happening, I will also walk around the class, and I will have a simple conversation as we're having now, and asking them to provide examples of what are some of our daily activities that we have that require us to use those muscles that I mentioned in the pamphlets. Students will respond with examples. Some might be funny examples, some might be serious examples, or I also might provide them with examples with, okay, what muscle am I using now if I'm doing this activity? Sitting on a chair, picking up my tablet, picking up a book. And students will respond with giving me those muscles from the previous information that was given to them. From there, I would talk about what are different good ways to break those bad habits of being being physically inactivity, and how is that a good habit to break, or to break the bad habit. Students were providing with examples with that, and those examples will allow me to speak a little bit more on that and elaborate with them. Students will then tell me, I will ask them, okay, I will ask the students, what are diseases that affect the muscle, primarily the muscles, or all the muscles? And that's when the students were providing with answers. and I'll now leave that. I'll have that open for the class to provide their examples. While I'm doing that, I'm writing them. I'm writing it on the whiteboard as well. All the answers that they provide, and if some students are close to the answer or to my question, which is what disease affects the muscle, which is muscle atrophy, then I will go into detail what that is, provide the definition, and provide examples. How does that affect not just the body, but as that human individually? I will provide them facts. What is that? Where does that originate? Which is mostly it's a genetic mutation, and explain as well what the genetic mutation is for the students that might not know what that means. I will be doing this, but in a way that they understand it at their grade level, and as well as I will also provide them with information and go in detail of what causes muscle atrophy and what are other ways to prevent it or prevent it from happening in a person. Even though there's no cure for it, but it's just different ways that one could prevent it from expanding throughout the body or affecting the human being. And as for the last thing I'll be asking the students and talking to them will be mostly due to the physical activity. What are different goals that we could set on a daily? What are different examples that we could do for physics to be active and to not be inactive? I know some of these students, majority of students have PE, but what could we do outside of school, at homes? And how could we help not just their personal life, but also their family members as well? I know our parents come home tired, but what are not just being active, but what are different habits that they could change that could prevent being physical inactivity, which a lot of it could be diet. A lot of these students might have a good diet, might have a poor diet, might not even have a well diet enough because the parents are constantly working, but yet students want to know, how could I benefit from being being in that physical inactivity? Well, a lot of it starts from diet, or what am I eating? Am I being active enough? So have those just allow students to think about those questions, have them contemplate about it, and once to give them a moment, give them 1 to 2 minutes to think about that, and I ask them to share what are some good ideas that they could do at home or right after school, or what are some ideas that they could do just to prevent that. And for the closing lesson will be to recap the lesson. Ask students what stood out to you in the lesson. What did you what was your takeaway for the lesson, and how would you proceed with that? How would you take this lesson and apply it to your daily life? And so that is what I would be recapping with the student, recapping the intro, the body, what we spoke about, and the recap, the closing, and just give them and just tell them, think about today's lesson and how is it benefit, and how could you be the change of diminishing the physical inactivity that we see in society nowadays. So thank you again for your time, and that is my lesson about physical inactivity. Thank you.